Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Tally Faye. I got our apple pie thing done this morning, and all that turned out wonderful. So this evening, we're riding this storm out together. Everybody's getting together and trying to just stay safe. We don't know what's going to happen with it, but you know, like I said, you leave it to the good Lord and move on, right? So we are fixing to get on with our supper plans. And I have this evening, it's the, and I know a lot of y'all have made this, I'm sure. But it's a fun meal, it's a good meal, and it's got everything in it you need. It's the chicken broccoli loaf. To me, it's like a bistro type thing. It's on that order of food. I think it's bistro-y, but nonetheless, we enjoy it. Buzz really likes it because it's got all the vegetables and stuff in it and everything, and I've tried to get a jump on it so it wouldn't take so long this evening, and I've got my meat going over here. Let me see if I can get y'all without bumping it. I'll try that. I'm going to show you where I'm at on that. Make sure. See, I've got my meat going in here, and this is, most of the recipes call for the chicken breast, but Buzz and I, we like thigh meat. It's just our thing, right? So we do the dark meats in ours. It's just what we do. It's more flavorful, more juicy, what we do with it. So the recipe calls for like 6 to 12 strips. So I have in here like about 3.5, I'd say. I'm going to turn it off right now. 3.5 of the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, okay? That's where I'm at with it. And I took them and cleaned them and let me see if I can do that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I got it. Okay, I took them and cleaned them and sliced them up in thin little pieces and stuff, and I got them over there in some olive oil, and I put garlic powder, black pepper, and salt. And that's it. I've not seasoned them with anything else, okay? Because we're going to do some more seasonings off in all these vegetables and everything that we put in just a little bit later. But the first thing I got to do is get my meat out of my pan now, and I'm going to use that pan because it's got the flavorings in it and stuff from the meats already. And the first thing I'm going to saute in there is, and I cut up, I've got like a half a bell pepper in here, and again, I say, use what you have in your kitchen, right? That's what we're working for here. So, I found a couple stalks of celery in there. I have 4 green onions that I had in the vegetable drawer, and this big old bell pepper. So, I chopped all them up together, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to saute in there because that's important to get those caramelized a little bit. The broccoli and the carrots don't have to be that cooked. We kind of like them, you know, just barely cooked on that where they're still crunchy a little bit, but yet they're cooked through. And that gives them a sweetness, but with a texture. Not all mushy and everything, right? But we got to get this done first. Let me take my meat up. I think you can see me from over there. I'm not even going to try to carry it across there. Let me do that real quick. I'm going to get me a bowl. Y'all, this weather is mean. It's thinking about being mean, that's for sure, and we don't really know. That's the thing, you know, you never know about what it's going to do, right? I'm going to scrape this pan. It's got that's some of the good stuff in there. That's where all your flavorings at, right? So I'm just going to scrape it good and take this meat up and get it out of the way. This meat is done. And like I say, it was just basic seasonings on it. I could have put more in there, and listen, if you want to put more, you can. That's the thing. With this loaf dish here, you can put anything in it you want. I have been wanting to do for a long time one that's kind of like a Philly cheesesteak, and I may try that one day. You know, do the peppers and the onions, and I think the main thing there would be trying to find a tender steak that you would slice for it, right? But do that with the Swiss cheese in it and make it up in this loaf and slice it. I think that would be pretty darn good. But we'll go there another day, right? Okay, I have my meat taken up. Now I'm fixing to go ahead and get my onions and peppers and celery sauteing in here. So, we work on that. I've been using the olive oil. I just in the past few years started using olive oil. You know, it's something I never kept in my cabinet. We had shortening and we had vegetable oil. That's what we used, you know. But I guess I'm learning to use olive oil a little better. I know everybody seems to use it. Everybody's like, you know, olive oil, olive oil, olive oil. So I started trying to use it a little more and keeping it in mind about that, right? So anyway, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead now and preheat my oven. I'm going to put it on 365, okay? Let me get it cranked up here. Well, it went to 370. That's good enough. The original recipe calls for 375, but I find that sometimes it bakes it more on the bottom browner than I prefer when I do it on 375. It's okay, but it does it a little more than I like, so we'll drop it down a notch on the temperature for that. All right, let these get sauteing. They really smell good. Oh, and by the way, like with my chicken thighs, the trimmings and stuff that I cut off of it before I sliced it up, I just put them in a little pot here, put some water in it, and I've just been letting it sit there and boil real easy, simmer real easy, and I'm getting me some wonderful chicken stock and some little bites of chicken meat that I can let set to the side and cool, and then I can put that in a Ziploc bag and freeze it for later for some wonderful chicken stock for something, right? For soups, dumplings, anything. You need chicken stock all the time for things, right? So anyway, that's the way you do that and make that work for you. So while the peppers and onions and stuff are sauteing, I was going to show you. I took 2 of the broccoli crowns. I bought the broccoli crowns. This recipe says 1 bag, I think. 1 bag of broccoli florets, right? That's the frozen ones. You can use them in there, but my preference by far is the fresh. I personally don't even like the frozen ones in there. I'll wait to make this recipe until I can get fresh broccoli. I generally have everything else of these vegetables except broccoli on hand. Some years Buzz grows the broccoli in his garden, but that's, you know, that comes and goes, right? But anyway, I'm just saying, I like the fresh. But anyway, I have sliced up, and I took them and I sliced them. See, I want to show you. If I can see how I did it. There you go. You can see. I sliced them like that. Cut the little stumps off of them and just slice them. And so I have 2 of these crowns, of these broccoli crowns, cut up in here. I think I'm going to chop up or slice up real quick about half of another one. And I'm just going to go down through there and just take it. Let me back my camera up here so you can see. I just want to do it just like this. I'm just going to take the whole crown and come down through there and slice it just like that, okay? Come across at the bottom and just slice it like that. Now see, the big ends that I have on it, I just take them and just give it a whack and it's ready. Just like that. Just come across there and you cut the main part of that stump off. And most of them aren't even on there. And really, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The stump, if you got some of it in there, it's not going to bother anything. But we prefer it just to try and have the most tender part of your vegetable in there, right? That's what we're shooting for there. But anyway, so now I have 2.5 broccoli crowns in this. Let me stir my peppers. Oh yeah, see, they're caramelizing in this now. That's what we're wanting. I'm fixing to add the carrots first. The broccoli is the very last thing I want to add. So I took my carrots, and I have, I don't know, it looks like about 1.5 cups here or so. Anyway, we're going to call it 2 cups of carrots by the time I get through. But see, I slice them diagonally like that. So I just saved one so you could see what I'm talking about. And I just take it and I just do them like that. Diagonal across there. You get a bigger piece, excuse me, a bigger piece of carrot, but it's not the real long piece like that, and you don't have to cut so many circles when you cut it diagonally. So it saves you a little bit of time cutting them like this, and for some reason they cook quicker when you cut them at a diagonal cut. I'm fixing to add these right now to those onions and peppers, okay? Let me get that stirred up in there. I'll show it to you here in just a minute. Let me get it all tossed around in there. Turn my fire down a little bit because my peppers and onions are done. The little green stems of the peppers, of the onions, will tend to burn if you leave them cooking too long like that. Or too high anyway, right? Ooh, Lord, I done made a tally-fay mess again. There it is. Oh, well. Okay. One of the things I wanted to show y'all was this. Let me get... Okay, this recipe calls for 2 of the cans of the crescent rolls. It calls for the garlic crescent rolls. But I got the sweet Hawaiian ones. What do you think? Everybody loves the sweet Hawaiian rolls, right? So that's what we're going for. Everything else is going to be all seasoned up and spiced up, so we'll have us some sweet Hawaiian roll bread on the outside of that. I think it'll be good. That's going to be the tally-fay take on it, right? But what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my big pan, my cookie sheet. I do that every time. There's only one spot in there that it will slide up in that cabinet. That's all right. It rains on me all the time. So, all right, I'm going to spray my pan and get my crescent rolls out here because I want them to warm up just a tad if I can get them out of here without having too much of an explosion. You just take them. We're going to unroll them. But you would think that you would unroll them this way. You do not. You unroll them sideways, okay? That's what you're going to do with this thing. Get this side, this one. It takes 2 cans to make this loaf. And y'all, this loaf will feed a number of people. It makes a big old loaf. You just don't realize it until you go to trying to put it together. And I've thought about trying to half this recipe for Buzz and I. I've just never done it though. Because it's as good reheated, or he says it is, it's as good reheated as when you first bake it. I'm not that person. I like something when it's fresh out of the oven, but either way, I do know it reheats well and you can serve it again. But all the little pleats and everything, you just take them and pinch them together, okay? So that you have one big sheet here. Pinch them all together. Get that done. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, we know my stuff isn't all pretty and everything, right? I don't do the pretty stuff very well. Sometimes, but not all the time. And for the most part, that's not what matters to me, right? I want it to taste good. Taste is what matters. Okay, these carrots are starting to cook down now. Let them get a little bit more, and we'll add that broccoli in here. Got my oven preheating. Here is this. Now, get you a pair of kitchen scissors. All right, my oven's ready. Okay, you get you a pair, excuse me, a pair of kitchen scissors. You come on the side over here. You're going to snip it down through there like this. You see what I'm doing? Okay. I don't know. What are they? An inch size little cuts there that I'm making. Turn it around. And try to do it directly across from the oven. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't really matter. But you got to come down in there enough, because we're going to take this and we're going to braid this over the loaf. Okay? That's what's happening here. That's where we're going with this. Get these cut. And we'll have this ready. Okay, that's ready and out of our way. Now the next thing I want to do is get my big bowl. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and put my broccoli in the skillet with the carrots and onions and stuff now. That's the last thing I want to add to the sautéing thing. Let me get it stirred up in there. If y'all can just see how pretty this is when you go to stirring it together, you know automatically it's going to be a delicious dish. And this is why I say it's kind of bistro-y to me. It's got these sautéed vegetables in it. That kind of deal going on. But see, all of this plus this chicken meat is going to make one loaf. It makes that big of a deal. Hey, baby. Yes. Everybody's home and everybody's walking around. You don't have to. Y'all didn't see the video of lunch day with Uncle Lynn and all them and everything? Or with Friends with Faye Day when Angela was here? And Migo and Tara Iva were all in here and everything. Hey, it's fun. Don't be scared. It's all good. We're going to have a wonderful dinner tonight together and ride this storm out. Hopefully it's no storm, but we're going to be together. That's what we're going to do. And enjoy food together and time together. It's short. You have to do it. If you don't, it'll just go by like that, right? Okay, the next thing we got to do, I'm going to get out here. This is the thing that'll probably freak y'all out. It did me. I know that. Let me get it out of my fridge. What we're going to put in here is a big cup of mayonnaise. Real mayonnaise, not salad dressing, okay? It has to be the real mayonnaise. You're going to put a big old heaping cup of real mayonnaise in here, and then we're going to grate up a big old heaping cup or so, however much you want, of cheddar cheese, and stir in with that mayonnaise. You are not going to taste mayonnaise in this thing. don't think that's where it's going to go with this, right? I was very skeptical, but it makes the cheese delicious. It just goes so wonderful. It wouldn't be right without it. I know that now. So, don't be scared, right? Let me get these done up here. I think I need to add a little more olive oil to it. I'm going to bring the camera over and show it to y'all. Wish me luck. Here I go again. Okay. See, look at it. Look how pretty all that looks. Does that not look delicious already? And we don't even have everything together. We're going to let this get steamed down a little bit. Like I say, I'm going to add me just a little bit more. Let me set this right here a second. I'm just going to add me just a little sprinkle more of olive oil. That's all I'm going to do there, just to be able to let it stir around some. Oh, good. Look, you can see it from there. Let me get my... This is a wonderful skillet, but it's one of those that the handle gets hot. And it will light you up right quick if you're not paying attention. You'll be going along there, cooking, and then all of a sudden, grab your skillet handle, and there you are. It will burn you bad. So I try to pay attention to that because I love the skillet itself. Okay. We've got this stirred and cooking. Now, I'm fixing to get over here and do our mayonnaise and cheese mixture. Let me do that. Get you back up here. Good to go. Alright. I'm just going to get, right now, I'm just going to get this other, where is my big, hold on a second. I thought I was prepared for everything, but get you a cup of mayonnaise here, and I get a big old cup of it. This is where more is better. I know if y'all went back and looked at my berry muffin video that we discovered that more wasn't better with the berries on top. It is when you immediately eat them, but not the next day. They're soggy. So there's a reason it was a teaspoon. Go back and watch the video. And use a teaspoon and not a cereal spoon like I did. They were delicious right then. And they were good the next day. They were just not the little crumble top stuff on them and everything. It had gotten soggy from all the extra berries that I put on there. So, don't do it on the muffins. Okay, see, here's my cup. See what I'm doing here? I'm going to try that, and if it's not enough, I'll put some more in there. But it's supposed to be a cup on this measurement thing, right? That's where we're going to go with that. I'll set it to the side. Let me check my vegetables. I've got a half a block of cheddar right here that I'm going to use up first. They're almost ready, y'all. You know how broccoli smells when it starts getting ready and stuff, you know? It's starting to get that smell to it. And of course the carrots are doing perfect. But the broccoli's changing color. It's getting that luminescent green color that it gets when it starts steaming and all. That gives it it's so fresh tasting when it's like that. Okay. Let's grate some cheese in here. You see that size of a block right there? I don't know what it is. It's a little less than half a block, which is what we're starting with. You just grate it in here, okay? I probably should have already had my cheese grated, but it doesn't take that long with this little old hand grater right here. My other old one, I've grated so much with it, the little blades are just dull. So this one here's the one I end up using, and I like it anyway. I can get it down in my bowl better. And I just don't tend to get my food processor out just for grating cheese. To me, that's more cleanup than worthy of grating cheese, unless I've got a lot of cheese to grate, you know? Kind of one of those things. Alright, let's see where we're at on that. I know that's not the amount of cheese I want in there. Alright, I'm going to turn this off and let it be sitting there. Let me get me a little bit more cheese out of here. Buzz likes the sharp cheddar cheese. I don't care. I'm not a cheese connoisseur. Cheese is cheese to me for the most part, on cheddar cheeses and stuff, on the hard cheeses. I mean, I know if I like American cheese or Swiss cheese or whatever, but like saying if it's sharp or mild or whatever, I generally don't even know the difference if I'm cooking with it, but apparently people do. So, okay, we know by now I've got a good half of a block in there. A good half of a block. So, I'm going to take this. Okay, I've got two other things I'm fixing to do that I got out of the refrigerator. I have some fresh dill. Look at it. It smells so wonderful. It smells so good. And again, like I told y'all, I just use the scissors. I don't try to chop it up. You lose half of it on the board. It's so fine that it sticks to the board when you chop it up. Or even if you use it in your food processor, you can't hardly get it out of there. So I just nip it off the ends of the leaves right here into my bowl, directly into my bowl. Give it just a hint of that, and then I have the minced garlic. I want to use a little bit of that in there. Just for some flavoring. And you know, minced garlic's pretty stout, but this is a big loaf. I'm going to do about that much. Look, that's probably 2 good teaspoons, I'm going to say. A couple teaspoons of it. And then the very last thing is the ranch mix. I'm not going to put all of it in here. You just use a little bit. So you think about when you're dumping it in there, you know, that's one of them deals where you have to kind of think about how strong you want that flavor, right? So I'm just going to reach down in here and I'm going to get me a big cereal spoonful and do me, I don't know, do a couple of those. And that should give it wonderful flavor right there. So we're going to stir all this up. I may have to add a little more mayonnaise. We'll find out. Let me get it, because I did put a bunch of cheese. Okay, I want to add me a little bit more mayonnaise. Just a little. We're going to just add one more big spoon in there, and we should be good to go on that. Okay? There we are with that. Get some of this mess out of my way. Alright, get your, I guess you'd call it the dressing. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it's an important part of it. And again, even if I don't think it's enough, when I start tossing, getting it all stirred up in here together, I'll add me some more out of there. But I just try to pay attention to it as I go along, because, you know, you don't want to put too much in there, but you're really not going to hurt it. It's just amazing that it doesn't taste like mayonnaise to you in there. You're not going to, I don't know why. Maybe I'm the only person that thought, ooh, you know, mayonnaise? There's my chicken meat. Okay? Now, we're going to add our vegetables. Y'all, this is really good. And this was something that my youngest daughter showed me, a recipe that she'd found and made it. She's the one that actually showed me this recipe, and I've made it so many times since then because we loved it instantly. So now you just start taking it and stirring it all up in there together, because we're going to take this and dump it in the middle of that, and we're going to form a loaf with it in the middle of our bread. Can you see it? Yep. And I'll show it to you up close. How good all that stuff looks in it. One other thing that I put in here sometimes, I just don't have them or whatever, which is something a lot of people don't like, but is, I'll throw in that mix over there, is mushrooms. I told you before, Buzz and I like mushrooms, right? So I'll throw them in, sauteing with the other stuff. They're delicious in it. You can put anything in here you want. That's the fun part about being creative with this thing. You know, like I said, I want to try the Philly cheesesteak thing that keeps going around in my head. I want to do like this Philly cheesesteak deal with it. I think it would be good. And there probably already is one out there and I don't even know it, you know. But, look at there, everything's coated, all mixed together. All the flavors, everything. Look at it. See that? Okay, we're fixing to put that in the middle of this loaf right here. This dough. I'm going to lose one of those dill leaves. Okay, I'm going to just dump it in here now. See what I mean, Rosie? What a big loaf that makes. Look at that. And because of everything that's in it, it is very filling. Very. You think you're going to eat more of it. It's one of those deals where you go back for seconds and then you realize, man, I should go about half of this, about half this shot of seconds here, right? So here is where I'm going to take my hands and form the loaf. Make sure I wasn't turn it like that. Maybe I can see a little better. Okay, you form it just like a meatloaf. That's the only way I know how to say it. That's what I'd tell somebody, is you form it just like a meatloaf almost. Right in the middle of this bread deal. Okay, let me wash my hands and then we'll come back and try to braid this thing on there. Rosie, I need you to do the braiding. You're the one that's the hairdresser. She won't do it, y'all. Oh. Okay. Okay, so trying to get exactly, let me see if I can turn it down a little bit more. All right, you start off and we'll just bend it over the end of it like that right here, right? Okay, and then we're going to just take it and crisscross it. That's all you do, is just take it and crisscross it. Okay, and just keep doing that all the way down. All the way down with it. Try that one there. Can you see what I'm doing? Do that. Now do that one. I'm down here to the end, and I've got a couple little braids left, but it doesn't matter. I want to just bring it up and fold it in on the ends. And there we have our loaf. Mine looks more like a mummy than a braid. But the last thing I want to do real quickly before I put it in the oven, and that is, I'm going to get me an egg and make me some egg wash real quick. Get me an egg, do a little bit of water in there, beat it up. Okay, where's my little brush? Here it is. So here we go. See, I've just got a whole egg in there and some water, and I just beat it up. So now I'm just gonna brush this on here. And that helps it make a wonderful crust. Now see, to me something that'd be good, and I thought about doing it tonight, but I'm not going to. I've already done some extra things in there, but is taking, as soon as you do this egg wash on there, get you some Parmesan cheese and sprinkle on there. Wouldn't that be good? I think that'd be good baked on the top of it like that with that egg wash. All right, we're ready to go in the oven, y'all. It's on 370, and I will see how long it takes us. It says 25 minutes or so, but, you know, like I said, we always have to check that, right? But I'll do that. I'll put the timer on 25 minutes and watch it from there, and then I'll be back and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, guys, it's done. I put it in there I did my timer for 25 minutes, okay? And there's still 5 minutes left on the timer, so, you know, I think that all depends on the oven, the size of the loaf and everything, but I want y'all to see. Look at it. Can you see? I'm trying to turn it where you can. And think how big this cookie, look how big it is to my hand. That's the best way I can. This thing makes an entire cookie sheet loaf. And then you just take it and you just slice it. I'm going to do that. I will get a slice and show y'all. There, you can see it from there just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get a slice of it and put it on a plate so that you can see. how pretty it is when you cut it. I probably shouldn't be cutting it when it's this hot. I mean, I just took it out of the oven, but we're gonna do it anyway, okay? What do we say? Let's just take this big knife here. Here, Rosie, will you hold it over for me? Over the thing where they, there you go, you can see it. All right, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do a couple slices like this. Just take it. Yeah, see, it's hot, so I'm pulling the cheese out of it. So let's try it like this. Look. Can you see all the goodie in there? Look at the carrots and the broccoli and the cheese and all that, and then the crust. It's delicious, y'all. It's all I can do. I'll eat one of these hunks like this, one of these big slices. Put it down there up close, Rosie, and let them see that. See? Like I say, it's hot right now. I need to let it set just a little bit where we can slice it and take it out of there. But that's it, guys. That is the broccoli chicken loaf. It's a great hit, and it feeds. It's wonderful for company. It's a great company meal. One of those things that, you know, you can find some sides to go with it. Salad and maybe a pasta salad or things like that and stuff. You know, something cool on the side. Fresh vegetable or pasta is probably what would go good with it because of the bread and stuff and everything. So, any-oh-hoo, there's dinner for tonight. We have the chicken broccoli loaf and our crumb top apple pie. So I hope you guys try these recipes, and that everybody has a good evening, and we'll be back in the kitchen with Tally Faye. God bless everybody.